Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You may delete as appropriate. My name is Chad Landman. Welcome to Landman EDC. Now, this is a video that I've wanted to do for quite a while. This is going to be all about fixed blades, specifically fixed blades that you could possibly even EDC. Some of these are a little bit bigger, but all of them are really good for outdoor stuff, for food prep, for all sorts of different things. I can't wait to talk about these blades. So let's talk about them. My name is Chad Lemon and I talk about knives, tools, and EDC items on the channel here. And if you find value from what I'm doing, please consider subscribing and liking the video. I don't have a membership program, but I would let you buy me a coffee. You can check those links below to send a one-time gift my way. Every dollar gets reinvested back into the channel. Thanks for being here. Now back to the video. All right, so fixed blades. Why would you want to carry a fixed blade? Well, there's been a lot of other channels talk about fixed blades, and fixed blades are a little bit of a thing now. They're a little bit trendy, but it's because they're really good, and there's some companies coming out with some really good ones, and there's some companies coming out with some expensive ones that are fantastic, but also very inexpensive ones that are also still very, very good. So why would you want to EDC a fixed blade? Well, you're going to have more sturdiness. You're going to be able to pound on a fixed blade. You're not going to have to worry about it folding in on itself. Not that you probably ever had to worry about that in general, but as I look at it, you can't go wrong with a fixed blade in an outdoor environment, camping, food prep, any of that kind of stuff cannot go wrong. Just my opinion, but sound off below. Tell me what you would use a fixed blade for, because guess what? One of these Odenwolf knives is going to be yours. So one of these is yours. You just have to comment below and tell me what you would do with them, because we're about to look at them right now. Now, before we open up these Odenwolf knives, I will apologize and say that most of these knives, in fact, I've got 6 to look at. Technically 5 because there's 2 Odenwolfs, but 3 of these 3 right here specifically, they're pretty expensive. So apologize about that in advance, but in my opinion, this is all that I need as far as fixed blades go. This is my fixed blade collection is complete. So we're going to talk about some really cost-effective ones that you can get, and these are by Odenwolf. Now, Odenwolf sent me these to try out. Thank you so much to Odenwolf. They're not sponsoring the video, but they come in some really decent packaging here, and I've already unboxed these, but this one right here is my favorite. This is the W Mini. And these come in these nice plastic, they're not Kydex, but they're nice plastic sheaths. They've got some really good grip on them here. It's a full tang knife made of D2 steel. If you can see that right there, that's a really neat little blade. You've got a good grip. You've got a TPE handle here. And this is for, you know, your outdoor trips, your everyday tasks. It's for all sorts of different stuff. You've got a fire starter necklace that comes with this. So if you wanted to wear this as a neck knife, this is actually not very weighty at all. You've got a deeper, I wouldn't say a deep carry pocket clip, but you've got a clip that you could use to carry it inside of a pocket as well. You also get, as I said before, these matching necklaces and fire starters. You've got a little fire starter here with a little ferro rod, and right here, and you can use that to scrape and start a fire, do all sorts of stuff. This is the perfect little camping knife, and it's got, did I mention, D2 steel on this, and it clips into that very nicely. These look very, very similar to the Mora knife or the Mora knife, the Scandinavian, I believe, branded knives. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I am wrong about that. So you'll see something here on the screen about that. I did not look that up beforehand. But these look a lot like those. And guess what? They're very competitively priced like those as well. These come in at $19.90. You will find them on Amazon. I've got the links all below. And here is the OD green version. Again, comes with this necklace that you can thread through here if you would like to. You can thread it through here. You can even wear it as a neck knife if you really wanted to out, and you could just kind of pull that back. You could strap it in right there. You don't wear a neck knife like that. You wear a neck knife like this, and you kind of pull it, and you can do stuff with it, put it back, not have to worry about crowding up your belt or your waist with any of those types of things. But there's some really good stuff here from Odenwolf. I'd never heard of the brand before. Let me show you, let me unbox the black one and show it to you as well. Now the black one is going to be the Scandi variant. It's got a little bit of a different grind on the blade. As you can see, I'll compare and contrast here. You've got a stainless steel D2 blade on this. Then you've got a black kind of different kind of Scandi design on this blade as well. So you can compare and contrast those. But these are really good. I tend to have a little bit bigger hands, and so these are absolutely really wonderful. The grip is textured. Again, this is a TPE material. It's not going to be micarta. It's not going to be any kind of Gravory or Grivory or any of that kind of stuff. It's not going to be any kind of G10, but you're going to get this entire package with a matching necklace, with a matching necklace with a fire starter and a ferro rod on it for just $19.90. Not too bad, especially for a D2 steel blade. Now, D2 gets a bad reputation a little bit because a lot of the companies, like the Ozark Grail that recently came out, they're not heat treating that correctly. And if they were, that would be a pretty unbelievably phenomenal knife for $9.97. But as it is, there's been a lot of people who tested that knife and who found out that that D2 was not properly heat treated, or it was the QA on it was not, the heat treat was not consistent, which is very typical of a super cheap production knife like that. These, however, I have not tested them in the wild. I do plan to do that and do that here in just a few weeks, going camping up in Ohio. And so these are going to be wonderful to add to your EDC. I'm going to put this on my belt and show you what it looks like on my pants. So if you've got, these are designed kind of for a, almost like a left hand carry. And so what I've got right here is that's what it kind of looks like coming out of the thing. Now you wouldn't necessarily EDC that, but you could just put it over your shirt like that if you wear an untucked shirt or an untucked collared shirt, and then you just do like that, come out with it. Very, very cool. I love these little knives, and I'm so glad Odenwolf sent them my way. And again, check these in the description. If you buy over $50 worth of stuff from the Odenwolf store, you get a free knife. If you buy $100, you get another free knife worth of stuff. So check that out. Link is in the description below. All the money I make off links below goes back into reinvesting in the channel and buying stuff so I can talk about it with you. There you go. All right, next up is a knife that I really want to love. I want to love it for a lot of reasons. One, because it's a pretty neat little knife. And two, they're made in Alabama. I'm from Alabama, so I really want to be able to support these guys. And I don't want to badmouth them. It's not a bad knife. It's just the sheath situation needs to improve. The sheath that came with this Ekanuru, and again, wonderful little fixed blade knife, 75 bucks, wonderful little fixed blade knife. You got this, I don't know what this Rowan stuff is on here, but you've got this really awesome little grind drop point blade right here with this awesome texture on it. Interchangeable micarta scales here with an Allen wrench right there, and it's got a pretty good ergonomics. You've got a nice bit of jimping on the top, so you can just really grind into something that you're going to be shaving off or cutting into. You got some really big EC branding here on the side. Not incredibly fond of that. I wish they had like a minimal logo that they could put in there, maybe just the ESEE, but whatever, that's just being picky. But the sheath that ships with this, and I could not find it. I guess I hated it that much that I just got rid of it. I could not find it. The sheath that ships with this is awful. And the way that this right here, I bought this Kydex sheath off of Etsy, and it wasn't cheap. It was like 25 bucks or something like that. If you can make your own Kydex sheath for these, and if you could either buy one for these are absolutely worth it. These are just wonderful little fixed blade knives. They're about 5.13 inches long. You've got a 2-inch blade, which is going to be typical of a couple of these blades. In fact, the the Knives by Noge one that we're going to talk about, that's going to have a 2-inch blade on it. You've got more, if you can see it right here, you've got more handle than you do blade right there, which is actually kind of neat. You've got 1095 carbon steel on here, so I don't know a ton about steels, so sound off in the comments if you know what 1095 carbon steel is. To me, in my practice, I've had this one for quite a while. It was actually one of the first fixed blades that I ever had. I've sharpened it a couple of different times, I believe, but it's got this, you have actually got this skeletonized handle on the inside, so you can use this without a handle, but using it with these little bit thicker micarta scales actually works out really well because it really improves your grip. The cool thing about these are made in the state of Alabama, and they're made in the USA. And they're about 75. The website lists them for about $95, but I found them as cheap as $75 on Amazon right now, and that link will be in the description below. EC did not send me this. I just wanted to talk about it as kind of a mid-range option for a fixed blade, and this is going to be one of your little tiny fixed blades. If you put something on this, like I got this set up right here, if you put something on this like an ulti clip, you're going to have a good experience with this, making sure you get an aftermarket or leather sheath with this. I think they actually sell a leather sheath with this on their website as well, so make sure you check that out. So that's your mid-range option, the Ekanuru. Now, I had forgotten about my little fixed blade that I had in the Ekanuru. I've had that for years and years, but what got me back on the train over a year ago was getting this textured Wicket from Knives by Noge. Now this and the ergonomics on this blade are just incredible. The way that he has molded the Kydex sheath to click right in there. You've got a Nitro V blade that is 2.25 inches in the blade length right here. And this is the textured Wicket. You can get something called the primitive Wicket that's got some string bound around it and kind of wax covering it. It's really, really cool. It's called the primitive Wicket. You've got one with G10 scales that's a little bit less expensive as well. And then you've got some, this is Nitro V steel, but he also sells a few with Magna Cut, a few with a couple of other different types of steel as well. But this thing has been outstanding. I got to meet Mr. Noge himself at Blade Show this year, this summer, and I raved about this knife to him. I just love it. This actually came with this sheath, I don't know what he's doing with the Kydex, but a perfectly molded sheath, and the ulti clip with it. Let me give you a little close-up of that real quick. You got an ulti clip right there, and again, this textured micarta right here. You can see that I have used this quite a bit. It is excellent for food prep, excellent for any kind of outdoorsy things that you want to do. Really, really wonderful. I love the way that you've got this seamless line from the start for the drop point right here all the way to the end of the blade around the handle, and the way he's got it contoured there just is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Now, there's a lot of variations on his website, and the textured Wicket on his website is sold out currently. But there's a lot of he's got a ready to buy section. This is, again, one guy that makes these independently. I think he's from New Jersey. I think he lives and is from New Jersey. Makes them up there, ships them, made here in the USA. And so make sure you go support Noge and buy one of his knives. They are not the cheapest. In fact, they're going to be some of the more, I think this is maybe the most expensive one that I have on here. This one's $275, and you're like, $275 for a fixed blade? But it's my perfect little tiny fixed blade. It's my perfect little tiny fixed blade. That's all there is to it. And I wanted it, and I got it for Christmas last year. It was a Christmas present, so I technically did not pay for it. Maybe. So if it's worth it to you, he's got some on there for $175. I believe he's even got a bargain bin for like $125 or $150 on there. So make sure you check out knivesbynoge.com. Can't find these on Amazon. Can't find these anywhere else. He sells almost exclusively on his website. Make sure you go check him out. This is the Knives by Noge Wicket. All right, if you were paying attention a couple of months ago, they had a Kickstarter for this one. This is the Big Idea Design Lookout, and I'm sure that if you've watched Taylor's channel, you have seen this knife many different times. This is the, again, what I said, the Kickstarter version of it in MagnaCut and also Ultem handles. You know how much of a sucker I am for Ultem, and I wanted to make sure to check this out. You've got rivets, bolts here with star bits and everything. That's a pass-through hole if you wanted to maybe grab something and put a lanyard on here if it's small enough. But I just love the ergonomics of this blade. You've got some very subtle jimping, but it's a very nice M390 blade steel on this, on most of the models that are out now. This one obviously says MagnaCut on mine, and obviously this is an Ultem. But the one I'm going to tell you about is the most readily available one, and it's got titanium scales on it as well. Now, I have used this quite frequently. I've used it in a lot of different places. In fact, it's my backpack knife because of how compact and slim it is. You can see the sheath right here is fantastic, and check out this belt clip. If I can get you a close up on this belt clip here, this belt clip it's completely kind of over engineered, but it's titanium, and so it is so super strong, and once it is on something, it is not going away at all. The deep carry for this one, as well as the Wicket by Noge knives, this one stands out or pokes out just a little bit less, but this one right here is also awesome as well. Grab some attention with the yellow handle there, but it's not a big deal either. It's an overall length of 6.2 inches, and you've got a 2.2 inch blade length, and this one is only $200. Now, this one is the MagnaCut version. It cost me a little bit more, but the M390 version with titanium scales is only $200. For a wonderful fixed blade that I know that I'm going to keep and pass down to my boys. It's worth 200 bucks. And you've got a titanium belt clip with a custom sheath. I mean, you cannot get any better than this. You also have a drain hole in that sheath in case you're using it in the water. And I just cannot say enough good things about this. I did not know that these were readily available right now, but you can go to Big Ideas Design's website. Whatever I have below, it will be linked down in the description. Big Idea Design, look out. And this last one, I debated on showing you at all because I was like, well, I haven't seen that they're selling them anymore, and I couldn't find it really on their website several months ago, but I checked again, and they are actually selling DreadEyes, not in MagnaCut, but DreadEyes. They're actually selling these on their website. This is the tactile knife DreadEye, and this is a bad to the bone fixed blade. I love this thing. Now, I've got a Ranger band on here that doesn't come with it, but you've got these contoured rich light micarta scales that give you this awesome texture. It's a small form factor. It's not obtrusive, and you can see here it fits and snaps into that Kydex sheath. It's got a really cool ergonomics and geometry there. Now, if you'll notice, this blade right here, if you can barely see it right here, but they've got a nick, not necessarily nick, but where they start to change the grind here, there's a sharp point that comes through the blade. That means this blade is a little bit unstable, but I got this one at Blade Show on a discount for 150 bucks because of that imperfection right there. I didn't care. I'm going to use the thing to cut, not to put it on a shelf and show everybody. And so this is fantastic stainless steel hardware here, and then you've got, of course, the MagnaCut running through this. But these are completely awesome. You can see here I've got an Ulti clip on it, and by the way, I'll link the Ulti clips down below. But even this here, it's very wide. But even putting this in your pocket, let me see if I can do that for you right quick. Even putting this in your pocket, and if you push that thing down, it's actually not too bad, right? It's actually not, it doesn't look bad, it doesn't, and especially if you do this right here, nobody's ever going to know that you're carrying. Then you just pull them out like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Make sure. Okay, so that's all that I wanted to talk to you about today. A little bit of a shorter video, but I hope you enjoyed us talking about some fixed blades here. And I know that some of these are expensive, but make sure to go check out those Odenwolf ones right here. These are fantastic this is the perfect camping knife. And I know some of the others are very pricey and probably out of the range of some people, but it's essentially one of those buy once, cry once kind of situations to where if you buy a Knives by Noge Nitro V little blade, you're going to be happy with it. It's going to be the only one that you got to have and worry about probably for the rest of your life. Same with the Lookout. Can't necessarily say that of the Odenwolf, but at $20, you could buy 2 or 3 of them and have them in cars. You could have them in glove boxes. You could have them in emergency kits, ready to go with that little necklace fire starter. It's a pretty good value for $20. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you so much for being here on the channel. Of course, like and subscribe. The more likes that you give the video, the more it appeals and gets handed over by the algorithm, and more people watch it. And that means more profit for me so that I can reinvest it back in the channel and talk to you about these certain things. But thank you so much to Odenwolf for sending those 2 blades over for me to check out. This is the part of the video where I ask you if you've got any questions for me. If you've got any questions about EDC, please sound off below, comment below. I love hearing from you guys. I try to respond to every single comment in case you haven't been paying attention. We go live on Carline Conversations every Friday at 2 p.m. Central. I will announce if we're not going live, but I've been very consistent with the last 4 weeks doing that. So we go live 2 p.m. Central with that live stream from my car. We talk about all sorts of EDC stuff. And most importantly, if you have a question about religion, if you have a question about Jesus, about the Bible, about church, about any of those different types of things, I would love to start a conversation with you. DM me, email me directly. I would love to be able to talk to you about that. God bless you. Go with God. Have a great rest of your week.